This is a recording to show you how to create a worksheet in support of the balance that you have in a balance sheet account. Obviously, you can use it for other things, but I'm using this in particular for a balance sheet account. I've been asked to put together an analysis of the 3100 temporarily restricted assets account, what's in the balance, and then I'm calculating. In this particular case, the client's given me a formula that they want me to use for releasing funds from restricted to unrestricted. And I'm performing an analysis to make sure that I don't over or under release funds, which is embarrassing. So I've started at the beginning of the year. I have 2 grants at the beginning of the year. I have 2 grants at the beginning of the year, and they total $47,500. It remains unspent, and in this particular case, that means that it should be the balance of my 3100 account because it is still restricted. You'll notice here that I have verified that against my balance sheet, and I make a note of that with my initials. This is just good practice. I put the date down for 2 reasons. One, it makes certain that I did it rather than simply put my initials down, because I've been known to do that. But also, it tells me the date at which I had this balance. Once in a while, you'll find an entry sneaks in. Somebody will post date an entry or something, and you'll want to know when you verified it. This is just good accounting practice. Then I go and I've done the calculations. I've recorded what they had through December. And then based on a discussion with the client, I changed the formula for the rest of the year. The point is, every month I can see what my balance should be. This is up to the current time. And here's the balance in 3100. To that point in time. And you can see each month I have verified the balance and I've put in the date. When I get a new grant, which they did in 2020, I put in a new line. That means that you'll have to change some of these formulas, but not much. Then I put the fact that we've increased the 3100 account by $70,000. And of course, I verified the fact that impact was correct on my balance sheet, so it was $105,000. I calculated a formula based on what the client gave me. Now, most grants, you will not be able to do this. I understand it. Grants have a tendency to be expensed over the time or as they are used, but in this particular case, the client wanted it to be specific, and this also means that it's helpful for things like prepaid expenses and deferred income, deferred expenses, and so forth. So what I've done here is I made the calculation based on the way the client wanted it done. You can see how I am reducing that balance. In 2021, or 2022 rather, the fiscal year, I went through and did the other calculation based on the client's requirements. This is important. These must be 0. You must have allocated all of those over the period of time, not more and not less. Because what happens is you'll find if you don't do this exercise, you will end up with balances and you won't be able to identify why. So in this case, I can tell you that at any point in time, how much money I have in each one of these grants. In this particular case for 3,100. So I can in this process, I can verify every month my account balance. It's very simple to do. Just print off the the balance sheet, and then you will compare that against this analysis and any other analysis that you're doing. Put the initials in, put the date in. You can answer questions in a heartbeat. When the client asks you a question and you can answer it immediately, they are extremely impressed. And they will never ask you a question without needing it yesterday. So in this way, you will be completely ready to go. The other thing is you're ready for the auditors. At the end of the year, auditors tend to ask for schedules outlining what the breakdowns are of the different accounts I mentioned. In this way, you are ready to give it to them in a heartbeat. You don't have to go through a lot of hoops at the end of the year. The last thing that I do here is when I calculate this, I take the $70,000, and the first year it was $3,500 over, I believe that's 10 months. And I created a recurring journal entry for this. In this way, I don't have to keep coming back to it. Now, obviously, if it isn't the same amount every month, you can't do that. And then in fiscal year 2022, I did the same thing. I started the journal entry. It started on 9/30. It moves for 12 consecutive periods and simply creates the recurring entry for me. Because I verify my balances every month, I can do this. If I didn't, then I am blind as to what's happening automatically in my system. And the last thing that happens is preparing these schedules and reviewing them every month helps you understand where you are and where your books are. It's extremely important. And again, when the client asks you a question, you will have that information in your head because it will be no more than 30 days since you've reviewed it. Thank you very much.